Okay, so the motor industry has just devalued my electric car by £11,500 overnight. I've got proof and evidence that the EV bubble has just burst. So if you're thinking of buying an electric car, maybe think again. I've got some figures I want to show you. So if you're new to the channel, do me a favour, hit that subscribe button, push this out to the rest of YouTube, and let's stop other people ending up in the position that I'm in. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Right, first of all, my friends, I'd like to apologise because I'm a little unshaven, and that's because I was charging my car. I was waiting for my car to charge, and then I looked in the mirror after it had finished charging, and I'd started growing a beard. That's a little strange. Anyway, that's controversial. And also, by the way, I make no apologies to the person that left the message in my last video, or the video of me travelling up to John O'Groats to say I'm an embarrassment and I should be ashamed of myself and I'm a total embarrassment to the EV community. Well, I make no apologies for that because I can see what is happening here. Now, the gist of this video is that I've lost an incredible amount on this car. I've done videos on it on the past. I've done 2 videos. However, the price of my car has dropped an insane amount. In fact, so much so I felt physically sick when I got a valuation on it last night. Now, the reason being is, or one of the reason beings is, that Porsche now, where are you going? You can see that it's going into one. You can see that the lane's going into one, white van man. So the main reason of it is, or one of the reasons I'll say, is that Porsche have now discounted their Porsche Taycan. Discounted. This is Porsche, who never ever give discounts, by the way. I've had, I think, 8 Boxsters or whatever and 1 Macan. On every one of those, I've never had a discount. And let me add, I've had to wait. There's been a waiting list to get the Porsches. Not so now, because Porsche are discounting their cars by £5,000 and it will be delivered. I'm filming this in November, the 3rd of November I'm filming it, and it will be delivered before Christmas. Right, they'll give you £5,000 off of a brand new Porsche Taycan and it will be delivered before Christmas. Now that means that they have them in stock. They must have a backlog of them in stock. Now, I have it on good authority. I used to work for motor dealers when I did all their graphic design, etc. And I worked for a lot of motor companies, etc. And I have it on good authority. I can't say from who, but the motor dealers at the moment are forced into selling you an electric car. So if you go in for a petrol or a diesel car, their job now, whether they want to do it or not, is to put you in an electric car, an EV. Now, you may want an EV, that's your choice. As I say, it's only my opinion and my experience from owning an EV that I think it's absolute insanity and these things aren't the future. This is not what this video is about. I'm going to get into the figures now of how much I've lost on my electric car. Now, stop right there, because I can hear you say, it's a Porsche, what do you expect? The residual values on them are going to drop. Well, I can stop you there and I can correct you, because I've owned Porsches before, and never in the history of me owning 8, 9 Porsches or whatever it was, have I lost as much money as I have on this electric car? Two of the cars that I bought, two of the Porsches, I actually made money on. One Boxster and one Macan. I made money on them when I handed them back. So that's incorrect. It's the fact that it's an electric car. They can't get rid of these electric cars and they want to put you in them and they're offering deals on them. So if you do that and they do it again in the future, you're going to end up with, what is it, a white elephant or whatever? You're basically going to end up with something that's worthless. I'll get through the figures in a minute. I'm going to pull over, charge my car on the motorway, so I've got enough charge to get back because I'm on the way up to Leeds. So I'll charge that up and I'll go through the figures with you. And honestly, it's mind-blowing. You maybe need to sit down with these figures. I've done two videos before and I've shown what I've lost, but the cost of what I've lost, right, since last time is astronomical. It's unbelievable. I'm speechless. I feel physically sick. Anyway, come on, onwards. I will say before, wow, there's a hole in the road there. I will say, by the way, some of the comments, I'm going to make a response video on some of the comments that I got on the my journey on the way up to John O'Groats. I can't grasp the mentality of these evangelists. They literally are a breed unto themselves. They are, some of the comments were evil. And I've even had a couple of emails which I've actually reported. So if you are watching, I've reported you because I will not stand for threats against, literally life-threatening emails that I've had against myself and my family. So they have been reported, by the way, and you know who you are, and you will be found out because people know your IP addresses. So there we go. It's just absolute madness. It's ridiculous. At the end of the day, it's a battery operated car, and if you like your battery operated car and you like your EV, then fair enough, that's fine. But I'm just giving my opinion on my experience that I've had with this electric car. And in my opinion, as I keep saying, I don't believe that it is the future. I believe that it's a way of stopping our freedom of movement. I could be wrong. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, so, you know, I could be wrong. I'm just giving my opinion and my experience on what it's like to truly own an electric car, because a lot of the channels that are out there seem to show the positives, positive and negative. There's do you get it? Electric. They seem to show the positives, but never show the negatives. And I can't guarantee it, but I reckon if you looked deep into these channels that push all the positives out about electric cars, I reckon that they're sponsored somewhere from the EV companies or the motor companies, because they're giving every positive about it but no negatives. I'm not sponsored on this channel. This video is not sponsored by any motor company, so I'm giving a negative, all the negatives that I've had. I've given positives. I've said I love the way this car drives. It's fantastic. It's got great torque. There is drawbacks on that, by the way, on the amount of tyres that this car gets through, which I'll show you next week because I'm going to go and get some new tyres on the car. It tears through tyres because of the amount of torque and also the weight of the car from the batteries. So there you go. As I say, it's just my opinion. So all the evangelists aren't like this. They just give, it's like me with Apple. I love my Apple iPhones and Apple Macs, etc., and I'm passionate about them, you know, and I stand up for them. But I don't get nasty and evil about it if you've got an Android or whatever. Some people take it too far. So let's be nice and kind in the comments to each other, because it's just, some of them are outrageous. I mean, some of them are funny, some of them are just downright rude. So I will do a response video on that. Anyway, I'm going to get on the motorway. I'm going to plug this car in. Honestly, I feel sick with the amount of money that I've lost. So, and I know it's an extreme. You're going to say that it's a Porsche, and it is an extreme. But again, with other electric cars, you are going to lose an extortionate amount of money compared to a petrol car or a diesel car, which you'll probably run for years anyway. Let's hope the motorway is clear. Let's get on it. Yep, it is. Wow, that's a turn up for the books. Come on, onwards. You know, I talk about freedom of movement. Every time I drive this strip of road. I've driven it thousands of times, going from Nottingham to Leeds or Mansfield to Leeds. And it's always a nightmare when you get to Sheffield, because they've put a speed limit in place, 60 miles an hour, for air quality. That's a load of rubbish in my opinion. I think it's just cobblers. It's not for air quality at all. It's just to slow you down. Just to stop you moving around. It's an absolute nightmare. And plus, by the way, if there's any councillors or out there from Sheffield who have anything to do with this 60 mile an hour speed limit for air quality, answer me this then. I'm in an electric car, so it doesn't matter how fast I'm going, I'm wafting by, and I'm not bad for the air quality. So why can't us EVs, I've said this before, God that's bright, why can't us EVs have the inside lane there or whatever, so that we can just go, you know, and pass all these polluting vehicles that you hate so much. God, that is bright, isn't it? So we've got roadworks now as well. Unbelievable. You know, I watched a video on Jeff Buys Cars channel, and he said there's a reason for all these roadworks. Basically, they're closing roads. They're closing certain roads off and doing roadworks, but strategically, because it just slows us down. They did, when we did the trip into from John O'Groats to Land's End, on the way down, they basically closed one of the lanes of the main road into Scotland for drying concrete. The main road, the main arterial road into and out of Scotland, they closed it. Absolute insanity. Now, you're not telling me in prime time drive traffic in rush hour that they've closed one of the lanes of the road. There was literally, there must have been, I think, 8-9 miles of tailback with it. You'll have to go back and have a look at it. It's insanity. We need to open our eyes and see what's going on here, because it's crackers. Anyway, we'll get to this, we'll get to the point in a minute, because I've got the figures in my back pocket. I've printed them all out, and we'll go through exactly what I've lost now. I mean, I don't know whether I don't know whether I actually want to read it out aloud, because I may be physically sick. It's just, I mean, there's got to be a point, surely, where your car can't lose anymore. It can't go below a certain amount, can it? I mean, can it go below zero? I mean, it's insanity. It's got to level off somewhere. I keep thinking, no, please stop. A Tesla's just gone past me there, right? And I've got to say, oh my God, they're the ugliest cars. It was the one that I test drove, the bigger one, and they're all ugly, aren't they? They must be, well, they're not the ugliest EV car, but they're up there, aren't they? They're just, they're just absolutely, there's no design to them. I've said before, they look like a Chamford Smartie or a suppository or something. They look absolutely dreadful. And you know what? The EV community, I've said there's an EV community, they're all evangelists. But the Tesla owners are basically, they're the, what is it? They're the, what's the word? Who come through on a Sunday.
We're Jehovah's Witnesses.
I wonder if you could spare a few moments to talk about what God means to you in your life.
They're the Jehovah's Witnesses, that's it. They're the Jehovah's Witnesses of the EV community, aren't they? They're the ones that bang on, you can imagine, banging on your door on a Sunday morning, come and join the brotherhood and you join the EV community and go Tesla, it's the best one, should have got a Tesla, all that. What a load of cobblers. I'll tell you this, if you own an EV and you own a Tesla and you're one of the people commenting saying, should have got a Tesla, no I shouldn't, because I tell you what, I can guarantee you that you now are wearing beige, you are probably into swinging parties, etc. And I've said it before, you are. There's 98% of EV owners, not including me, because I don't count in that, are either swingers or end up, and you won't know what this is, but Google it, or end up in Blidworth bottoms at 11 o'clock at night, flashing the headlights. Remember, not too much though, because it takes the battery, I've said that. Look up Blidworth bottoms. In fact, go to Blidworth bottoms. Don't go to Blidworth bottoms at 11 o'clock on an evening, because you probably will find lots of Tesla owners flashing their headlights. But there we go. Anyway, let's move swiftly on from that. I'm just saying, the Tesla, what a car. It's not even a car, is it? It looks like one of them cars that you used to get at Christmas that were really cheap, and you turn it over, it's very plasticky, and you open the bottom, you twist off the little, you know, they actually have screws in now so you can't take the batteries out, don't they? But years ago when I was a kid, the little flip thing on there, and you open it up and you just put your AAs in there with the cheap springs in and everything. That's basically a Tesla. What a load of garbage. And that, look at that, did you see that? Wind it back. Is that a Polestar? Oh God, I mean that makes actually, I take it back, that makes Teslas look quite pretty. A Polestar, and the name as well, Polestar. Hey, what's all that about? It sounds like somebody who's entered the Olympics that, I don't know, it's just, what a garbage name. Entered the Olympics that shouldn't really be there. Like, what was the Eddie the Eagle Edwards or something? It just awful. What a naff name. What car have you got? I think you'll find I have a Polestar. Okay, either that, or it sounds like something off of a Triple X channel, doesn't it? Polestar. Oh, here we go. Right, we've got, funnily enough, we've got Jeff Buys Cars ringing me up. Jeff, you're on the camera, how you doing?
Oh, good afternoon. I've just been out for a lovely family walk without my phone. It was very pleasant.
Oh, without your phone, without technology.
Difficult to leave it behind these days. You know what it's like when you're a YouTuber. We're both completely addicted to it.
I know. I've just passed a Polestar.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, sounds like something, sounds like a title off of like something, doesn't it?
Never been sure about those Polestars. I'll tell you what, they're quite good looking cars though. I don't mind those Polestars.
Are you kidding me?
They're all right. They're all a bit. Do you know what it is, right? It's the only electric car that is designed to look like an actual car. Like, it's the only one that looks relatively normal. All the other electric cars are designed in a way that you're driving down the road and everybody knows that you're driving an electric car. The Polestar and the Taycan are the only two that actually look acceptable as cars.
Right, I'm not keen on it, but there we go. But anyway, that's controversial. we'll agree to disagree on that one. It looks like
we can disagree on it.
It looks like a Dodge or something, I think. A Dodge.
It's got a little bit of Americana in it, hasn't it? It has got a little bit of Americana, I'll give you that.
It has. But right, before I lose you, because I'm going into Sheffield and there's roadworks, by the way.
Is there? I'm very surprised. I'm incredibly surprised at those roadworks. I can't believe that.
I just mentioned you. There's a reason for all the roadworks.
Well, that's just it. I've been posting up all my outtakes from our trip, and there's more to come.
Well, if you're not subscribed to Jeff, head over and subscribe to him. I'll put him in the comment section down below and on at the end. Now then, Jeff, I haven't told them the details on this yet, but I've told you the amount of money that I've lost on this car in the last month. Well, you did it. Don't tell them the details yet, but were you surprised?
Well, that's what some people earn in a year.
Exactly. Yeah, basically, I've lost in a month what some people earn in a year, and it's sickening. Now, you're saying though, it's not just electric cars.
No, I don't think it is. I think we're in for some interesting times in the world of classic cars. I recently bought a classic Mercedes-Benz estate, thinking that I was going to do very well on it, and I've contacted a couple of auction houses, and they basically said to me, prepare to lose your trousers on it. I think the market is cooling. I think people are running out of money. I think people are losing interest, and I think we could be in for some very interesting times ahead in cars and classic car values. I think the problem is as well, modern cars have gotten that expensive, people are just going to give up, and that is going to push prices on second-hand cars if people do give up buying new cars. But they've got that expensive that it's almost like the manufacturers have now priced themselves out of the game.
Exactly. Now, do you think the EV bubble is about to burst, or it has burst?
Well, I think it was bursting, and I think between the two of us, we've sort of pushed the pin in the last 10 days or so.
I've just said I've had an email. I've had to. I think it was a Facebook message. I've had to report because it was a threat against me and my family.
A threat.
A threat.
A threat.
A threat
against you and your family.
Yeah, because I need to.
Was that Elon Musk again? Is he?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm any threat to him. No, a threat basically. I'm just to stick to my food videos, apparently. So
brilliant.
There we go.
Yeah, stick to fish and chips. Yes, you clearly know nothing about electric cars. Stick to fish and chips.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And I'm ashamed. I should be ashamed because I'm giving the EV community a bad name.
Well, what you should do is you should sell that electric car, and then you'd owe nothing, and you'd be happy.
Like if I sell it, I would owe. I'd actually owe them money.
Yeah, so you'd owe money and you'd be happy. No, hang on, you'd owe money and you'd be miserable. It's almost like there's an agenda at play, isn't there? Like they're trying to push everybody off the road and they're trying to push everybody to financial ruin. But more about that maybe on another day.
Yes. Anyway, onwards, my friends. Just past a Tesla, I had to have a look. I was like, I'm looking in thinking, is it the stereotypical Tesla driver? I'm having a look, looking over, trying not to let him make eye contact with me. I'm thinking, is it? Yes, definitely a stereotypical Tesla driver. They're all the same. You look, every Tesla that you see now, right, just have a look in the window. You won't be able to help it now. You'll look in the window of a Tesla driver, and I tell you, it's definitely a Norman or a, you know, that kind of name or whatever. It definitely, come on, names below of Tesla drivers. It's got to be like couples, Norman and Doris or something like that. Comment down below. Come on, give us the names. Mildred and Harold. Right, milk float off. I'm just looking at the couple there. What car is that? They're charging up. Don't know what that is. That's strange. They do look like the stereotypical EV couple though. They're all the same, aren't they? They look strange. Odd. Anyway, back there, I'm pulling into these services, and this car's got like lane assist and everything on it. And I pulled in, and it yanked the wheel out of, yanked the steering wheel off of me because it went over the white line to pull in. As I was just indicating, it yanked the steering wheel off and pulled me back in again. I think some of these safety devices are quite dangerous in many ways. The other week I was driving this car, and this has got obstacle avoidance as well. So if I'm driving up a road and there's a car here like that, I was driving up to turn around, I had to pull out like that because there was other cars in the way, and it actually thought I was going to crash into that car, but I wasn't. I was way away from it, and it jams the brakes on. So I thought, oh, what's going on there? It literally is quite, you're getting all this beeping going on and lights flashing, and jammed the brakes on. And there was a car behind, luckily not right up my backside, otherwise it'd have just hit into the back of me. A lot of these things are supposed to be safety devices, and they don't really work, do they? Anyway, let's go through these figures. I'm going to get my car charged up. I'll read the figures to you first, then I'll charge my car because I've got to get up to Leeds because my little girl's swimming. I want to go and see her swim. So let's get out, go through the figures. You will not believe these figures, trust me. Come on. I haven't got out yet because I'm just looking at this couple over here, right? And they've moved their car from the end charging point. She's looking over at me. From the end charging point, I've got to be careful now, you know, because they might be evangelists and they'll be like, there's a bounty on my head. And he's moved it into a different charging point because the other one wasn't working. So he's actually having, oh, she's opening the door. He's actually having issues. He's got his head in his hands now. I'd love to film this, but she's watching. He's got his left hand on his hip with his other hand like that, looking at the actual, now he's on his phone. Yeah, now he's getting back in again. It's comical. Now he's getting back in again. Oh my God, who's pulling in now? Got an ID4. This is just crackers. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to get out of the car. I'm going to read you the figures in here. I didn't get out just yet. Right, let me read you these figures. Here we go. Are you ready for this? Right, so the cost of the car originally when I bought it with everything on it was £120,000. Now that was 2 years ago, admittedly. Okay, so I'm actually scared of EV owners now. Looking over my shoulder, and I owe, as of yesterday, which was the 2nd of November 2023, I owe £77,600 on it. It's financed, so I pay monthly on a finance on it. Okay, so in August 2023, when I got a valuation on it from WeBuyAnyCar.com, it was £53,235. That was in August 2023. I can't believe it. He's having an issue now as well. And then in October, when I did a review, when I valued it again in October, I did a video on this one where I was driving up to the Lake District. You can go back and have a look at that if you want. It's got the thumbnail of Rishi Sunak on it. And then it was valued at £51,115. Now that's in October. That was about 3-4 weeks ago, okay, when I did that video. So £51,115 in October 2023. Now, last night, I got another valuation off of, why do I feel uneasy with all these EV people pulling in? I don't feel easy. This is making these videos, anti-EV videos. I got a valuation. Are you sitting down, right? So £51,115 in October. Yesterday, £40,500. That's an £11,000 depreciation in less than a month.
Oh my God! I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready.
Now, that's almost £80,000 depreciation in 2 years, which is more than I've ever lost on any Porsche that I've ever had in my life. And I don't know what it's down to, dropping from 51 grand down to 40 grand basically. So in less than a month, I don't know where, I don't know how it can drop that much. My jaw was on the floor. I can only think that basically Porsche, this is probably one of the factors that you can go into with it. The Porsche Taycan means business. This is an advert that they put out. And the forums, I can tell you, the Porsche forums, the Taycan forums, are not pleased about it. Some people have basically just ordered the car. They're not pleased because, obviously probably for the same reasons as myself, it's devalued their car. So it says the multi-award-winning Porsche Taycan boasts striking proportions, timeless and instantly recognisable design, and a perfect blend of performance with everyday usability. All right, and right now it comes with even more. With every new Taycan ordered and delivered by the 31st of December 2023, we will give you a £5,000 contribution to all retail and business customers. Now, as I said earlier on, the Porsche have never given discounts on their cars. It's not what they do. It cheapens the brand in many ways. So they've never done that. And I've had to wait nearly a year for certain cars. So they must have these in stock to actually ship them before December the 31st. Now that, I think, is probably one of the contributing factors to why I've lost so much, how it can lose 11 grand in a month. That's absolute madness. So there you go. If you are thinking about buying or purchasing an electric vehicle, maybe one is for you. I always say, round about town, the smaller cars, excellent, charge them in at home and they're absolutely fine if it works for you. In my opinion and my experience, I still don't think electric cars are the future. I think that the motor industry are basically being backed into a corner, to be honest, if I'm going to side with the motor industry. They're being told to sell something that I personally don't think is fit for purpose. They don't have any choice because the powers that be are telling them by 2035 they can't sell cars with internal combustion engines. So they're going to be left with no choice. They're clutching at straws to keep a business. So there you go. I think they're backed into a corner. But think very carefully before buying an electric car, because you could be left in the same position of me, in massive negative equity. These cars at the end of the day have got batteries on them. And would you buy a second-hand EV that's got so many miles, that's got quite a few miles on and 3 or 4 years old, when you know the battery isn't going to be at 100% of its performance? So there you go. If you go into your phone, on your phone here, on your iPhone or whatever, and you go into your battery on your phone here, onto your settings, right, just to show you about batteries, etc. Okay, so you go battery in here, right, and you go battery health and charging, and it actually says maximum capacity on your phone there. And it tells you, this is a new phone, so it's 100%, but it goes down and down and down and degrades. And that's the same as a car as well. So bear that in mind. That's all from me today. Please do me a favour, do hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny. What it does is it pushes these kind of videos out to YouTube, to other people that are maybe thinking of making that mistake of buying an electric car. Maybe not a mistake for them, who knows? It's just my opinion. But do hit the subscribe button and also share it on social media. Let people know what they're in for if they get an EV. That's all from me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know whether I did. What's he doing? Oh, he's vaping in the car next to me. That's a new one. He's sat there vaping while he's charging. Right. And the other guy's given up and gone. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.